I'm Alyssa Casals, and I'm doing my informative culture speech on Latin America. As we all know, Latin America is known for its language of love, but it also has many different styles of how they communicate to one another that sets them apart from different cultures. One of those being the use of slang words. Slang words is different in many different types of relationships. It's also used to get a quicker meaning to whatever point they're trying to get across. It could be referring to a friend as my amigo or that's my vato. It just depends on what type of relationship would they have with that person. Another way of communication that they use is through religious communication. This could be through telling someone, bless you, after they sneeze, or even wearing religious related attire such as necklaces to emphasize their religious background. They communicate their beliefs to one another in large settings or on personal settings in private or with large communities who also believe the same religious things as themselves. Another way they communicate with each other is using certain terms to indicate respect. Certain terms such be like the term mi reina, that means my queen in Spanish, and when another person calls a woman mi reina, he or she is referring to her as having a high value of a queen that a queen has, which is a very respectful term to call another person. Usually men use this term to their significant other, or kids use this term to their mothers because they have that high level of respect. Another term is a sus órdenes, which means at your command, and people often reply with this whenever a person who has high regards or respect to them asks them for a favor or asks them to do something for them, and by saying that shows their respect for them and that they're willingly okay with doing whatever task they need. Another way Latin America communicates with each other is also through nonverbal communication. One being they use hand gestures when gesturing towards another person. For instance, if you have your palm up and you wiggle your fingers like this, it means you're referring to that person in a romantic kind of way. But if you have your palm down and you refer to like this, it means that you're referring to them as a friendship. Instead of like waving like this, most people in Latin America will go like this to their romantic partner or go like this to their friend. Another way of communication with Latin America is greeting one another with hugs and kisses on the cheek. This communicates friendship, and it also communicates a togetherness between that person with the other person. One other way that they show nonverbal communication is standing close to each other when they're talking to each other, because it helps them identify what sort of relationship they're going to have with each other. If the closeness will provide physical touching, like hand on hand or rubbing against each other's shoulders, such like that, just to indicate what kind of relationship and comfortability they have with one another. One thing that the Latin community emphasizes on is eye contact. When you have too much eye contact with someone else while they're speaking or you're listening, it's a sign of disrespect. It communicates disrespect to the other person, and it makes them not want to be around one another. On a personal level, me being Latina and Hispanic, I have been given personal experience from the culture dealing with different types of relationships I'm surrounded in. For example, in my home life, we heavily weight physical gestures of communication to identify a relationship with someone. Reason being because my family's reasoning is how a person treats you is how they feel about you. But when I am amongst my friends, we focus heavily on verbal communication, where a lot of slang words happen, and we also emphasize on verbal communication because it helps us get to know one another. on a personal level, and if we like the same things, if we have the same values, if we have the same beliefs, even though we come from the same oriented culture that has its own oriented beliefs and values and different types of respect. The reason the Latin culture is referred to as the language of love is because even when someone speaks to you in their accent or the certain words they use, it just makes you feel good on the inside. It makes you feel like they're talking to you with a certain amount of love and respect. When being surrounded by others and other individuals, it also gives them time to showcase who they are as an individual and what they believe in, and hopefully make a connection with that other person. Latin American communication heavily emphasizes on respect. Respect is a very big thing. It shows honor and respectfulness, and it enables comfortability and trust within two people, and that is why the Latin American culture is known heavily for their language being love and respect, because that's what they emphasize every day. Thank you.